What if I told you that the biggest battle that we ever will face is the battle within ourselves? Let's see what Rumi, the greatest spiritual poet, and Eckhart Tolle say about the ways to get rid of our ego. Rumi says, when you reach the bottom of your own nature, then you will know that the trouble was coming from within yourself. Rumi says that if we get closer to our essence and we gain more and more self-awareness, we realize that what really tortures us and what really gives us trouble is within us, and that is our ego. About that, Eckhart Tolle says that the commentaries that we put on things and the thoughts that we have, and sometimes we follow them, are our ego, and that is the main source of our pain and suffering. In the next verse, Rumi says, "Oh, much of what you criticize in others come from something unresolved in yourself." Rumi talks about our shadow, about the dark sides of ourselves. And he says that when we don't like something in somebody else, it's usually because we have a dark side within us that we don't acknowledge. And by seeing that in others, we get really annoyed and upset. About that, Eckhart Tolle talks about the pain body. And he says that we all have a pain body that has been formed in the past by going through some suffering. And when an external circumstances trigger us, it's usually triggering the pain body. And the way to release that problem is being in the present moment and let go of our thinking and observing our thoughts as something external and not following them. In the next verse, Rumi says, "The faithfuls are mirrors to one another." So Rumi says that somebody who is on their spiritual path or having some self-awareness, when we are with them, we can see the mirror of their essence in ourselves, and it would help us to get rid of the ego better. I'm not sure if you have heard of a saying that you become who you surround yourself with. So people with higher vibration and less attachment to ego can help us to mirror ourselves and see our true essence in them. About that, Eckhart Tolle sometimes talks about conscious or having awareness in the relationships. And he invites us that when we are in relationship with somebody else and some problem arises, it would be the best to be conscious and self-aware and aware of the ego and let go of it, especially when some challenges arise. And that is the best way to connect to the other person through their true essence, rather than us following and attaching to our ego and let the relationship deteriorate. In the next verse, Rumi says, "Pour water on the fire so that your fire can turn into the light, dear one." Rumi says that ego is like fire, and we can pour water over it, and by water he means consciousness and self-awareness. So in order to get rid of the ego, we can be in a present moment and be conscious and aware of our inner essence. So Rumi says that when we are in the fire of ego, when we throw the water of awareness in it, it gives us an opportunity to see the value of being in a present moment and consciousness. And about that, Eckhart Tolle says that the darkest time in our lives sometimes are opportunities for us to wake up. Because in the darkest time, we realize that what really tortures us is the ego, and that gives us an opportunity to let go of it and find peace within. In the next verse, Rumi says, the lion saw his own reflection and thought it was the enemy. Rumi talks about the time that the lion looked at his own reflection in the well and thought this is his enemy, jumped into the well and killed himself. And he says that sometimes the ego tricks us at thinking that our enemy is not within us and it's outside us. About that, Eckhart Tolle says that sometimes ego creates an illusion that separates us from the reality. So both Rumi and Eckhart Tolle say that the best way to get rid of the ego is to gain consciousness, being in the present moment, and pour the water of the presence over the fire of ego. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and share and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.